I was on mute. So let's see how strong that delay is. I am coming. I was fixing my light. I was on mute. I was on mute. All right. So great. We can let's one more place to go before we get started. We are talking about how to prepare yourself for the new year. How to prepare for support. Okay, perfect. All right, this is exciting. So I was doing another, make sure I get across multiple platforms. All right, we are here working live. YouTube, you're always so patient. I am coming. This is going to be like kind of informal, so I can go ahead and share some things with you all. So thank you for being patient. All right. So, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here, wherever you are, whether you're on LinkedIn or if you are on YouTube or watching the replay somewhere else. So, I want to talk to you all about how to prepare yourself before the new year or a new season, depending on what time you're watching this, but mainly for the new year because we are in the month of December. And I am going to finish my series, Opulent Thinking for Opulent Opportunities, but I want to do a little pause here. And I'll do a wrap up for that because some people have been messaging me like, well, you left us hanging. I was like, I'll go ahead and wrap that up before the end of this month. So this is informal, so there's not really a lot of notes you can take. I don't have a full script, but I do have some things I want to share with you. If you have not noticed, you will start seeing a lot of people pushing for programs, their coaching, consulting, strategy sessions, or whatever, whether you are an individual or for a corporation. And I've been on several calls, mainly for research purposes, because I always like to see what people are up to or what people are, looking to purchase or what they're interested in. And I've noticed a few things. So you're going to need support whether you are starting a business, in a business emerging. If you are a company and you're the person that goes out to look for training and development, everyone is going to need some type of support. And that support comes in the form of mentorship, advising, coaching, strategy, consulting, and things like that. So let's not fool ourselves into thinking that, oh, I don't need anybody's help. Now, what you can do just to start it off, YouTube University is free. And so is Google, the whole internet. And with AI, you can pretty much figure out a lot of things by yourself. So, do you technically need to invest in anybody to support you? No, you can spend time. And there have been people who literally put just take their time and just piecemeal everything together from YouTube or other sources like that. So, if you're that person, then go ahead and do that. Jump off this or don't attend anybody else's lives or workshops or challenges if you're going to be that type of person. Now, I will say this, if you are a business, whether it's yourself or you are the representative for a company, the whole point of business is to generate income. So if you are a solopreneur, and you don't want to invest, then think about the type of energy that you're giving off. If you don't want to invest in yourself and learning in your company, then why should people want to do the same for you? All right. So that's number one. You're going to have to work on your money mindset. And I'm not talking about money mindset as far as saying affirmations and, saying, oh, I want, all this money. It's an abundance thinking, but it's also about where you are in your journey. Are you really prepared to walk into this entrepreneur or business ownership type of space? If any of you watched my summit, from resume to reinvention to remarkable, how to shift from an entrepreneurial mind, from an employee mindset to an entrepreneurial way of thinking with ease. I'm not saying everyone needs to become an entrepreneur, because there are a lot of people who start off in entrepreneurship and they have been successful, but they're like, you know what? I want to go back to my W-2 because I got some other, my focus is shifted. And that's totally fine. But what I will say, their thinking on how they approach that is totally different. So I'm not saying that everyone needs to jump ship. Please don't jump ship before you are prepared mentally to join this journey, but you can shift the way that you're thinking. Entrepreneurs and business owners make things happen. They know that you need to start generating income to make your sales, your business go around, your life. Income gives you choices and opportunities. So that's where I'm talking about shifting your money mindset before you start. Why am I talking about this? I was on two events this week, and one is still going on, but one just wrapped up yesterday. And of course, the host made an offer. So, well, actually, over the last, I've been to three between this week and last week, and there are people in the comments who were saying, "Well, why does someone have to always offer something when after a free event?" And what I realize is you should be gracious that people are giving things out for free or doing live trainings. And I'll give kudos to these three trainings that I've been to, these three workshops. They gave out valuable content that it was worth you doing. Like, could you Google the information? Overall, yes, but it saved you time because they put things right here. This is what you need, right? And you can get started with this information right here and there, where it would have taken you weeks or probably months to Google that information. Of course, they have their own insights and experiences that's not Googleable or YouTube University-ish, right? But then people were upset, like, well, why do you have to make an offer? So let me help you prepare part number two. First was mind, shifting your mind about around money. And then two, when people are making you an offer, they're like, look, I've given you a lot. Can you do things on your own? Yes. But I would be irresponsible if I didn't say, here's the next step on how I can support you directly or how my team can support you directly. So if you are offended by attending a live workshop, and just to know, I have an offer down in the description box below, and I'll be talking about it at the end. But people who do that, they are doing a service, because if you are out here wanting, and this goes for larger companies too, if you're out here and you want to reach your next level, reach your goals, increase your profits, your sales, the culture in your organization, and whatever you are needing, someone has to come in and do that work. And the only way that they know that you are available, or if you want someone to know that you are available, is to make an offer. And an offer is saying, hey, I have a way to help you bridge the gap. I am telling you, this is how I am going to help and support you, right? So just keep that open in mind. So that's number two. Don't be offended. Stop being offended when people are making you offers, because if you are going into business for yourself, guess what? Guess what you're gonna have to do? Make an offer. You're not gonna just be able to put things up on your website and say, all right, come in. If McDonald's, who is a multi-billion dollar company, if they still have commercials and they're still doing deals and offers like all the time, why do you not think that you wouldn't be doing it? Or why are you upset when you see, people out here, whether it's through an ad or a live or whatever you come across, why are you upset and thinking that they're always selling? Every Everybody is always selling. So well, let me go on to number three. So keep that in mind. Learn how to shift your money mindset, and understanding that you're going to either have to make an investment, especially if you want people to invest in you. Oh, let me share a story of why I said that. So yesterday I was on a call and someone made an offer to join their program, and it is a four-figure investment to join their program. And then people were saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't afford it." Or let me say this, a lot of people did. So if you're thinking if you are in business for yourself and you want to come here for a little inspiration, motivation, if you're thinking that people are not buying because of the economy, that's not true. I was on two trainings just this week and people were dropping four figure, yeah, these were just four figure investments. I'm pretty sure they had an option to upgrade something else, but people were paying in full and they were doing installment plans. One young lady, she was like, "We don't do installment plans. This is just what it is, and you can use this code for a discount for $1,000 off if you so choose to do that." And people were buying that. And we're not talking about anything $27, $100, or anything. We're talking about four figures, right? That people were investing in. So keep that open, that people are still doing that. So yeah. But then there are people in chat like, "Oh my gosh, I can't afford it." If you are that person and you are not ready to make that investment, do not put that in the chat. Do not say that out loud where you are, because that's you and your mindset. Don't put any doubt in somebody else's mind, because what that does is someone who could be right there on the cusp of making that investment with that person, they're like, "Okay, if this person not doing it, is there something that I should, why am I not doing it?" And you can say all day, "Well, it's up to the individual person," but we've all done that. We've all like, "Oh, wait a minute. Well, if a couple of people are saying that, should I take a step back too?" And those little doubtlets start coming into your mind. And of course, you do your own personal leadership and manage your mind, and you push forward if that's what you're going to do. But you, if you are open enough, there is a little bit of doubt that comes in if you start seeing people saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't afford it," right? So if you're that person, stop doing that. And someone got offended when the somebody got on the call, they because they opened up for Q&A, and they said, "Well, I really want to do this, but I can't afford it right now. I'm on, I only get this certain amount of money because of the situation that I'm in." And so the host said that, "Well, you're not committed like you say you are, because you will find a way to get the money if this is what you want to do." And then so the host also said, "Even if it's not with me, you're saying that you want to take a new step. You want to go into a new direction. You want to learn this skill set. If you haven't done it on your own already, you're going to have to invest in someone else. So whether it's me or someone else, if you're not willing to do it with me, you're probably not willing to do it with anyone else, because you're not at that commitment level." So the host gave the example. If you were there, don't call out the person. So the host gave a story about where she had a client who, their house burned down. They had a whole tragedy and everything. And the person already signed up for her program. And she was like, "You know what? I have to do this. I must do this." And so the host was saying that she thought the lady was going to say, "I need to put the program on pause. Can you hold off on my payments?" But the lady said, "No, now I have no choice but to make this work." So the other lady was saying, Lady B was saying, "Well, that's me right there." And the host said, host was gangster. Host said, "No, no, no, don't confuse yourself. You're not that same person." Now, some people got offended, but you have to listen. She was like, that Lady A was willing to do any and everything that she needed, and she had no choice because of the situation that happened. Like, life literally happened, and she had a valid reason of not to move forward, but she used that literal fire as fuel to get things on and popping. Lady B, who was with the host where I was, she was she kind of like was taken aback, like, "Oh, I'm not there." And the lady was saying, "Because if you're giving me all of these excuses, instead of saying, how can I find the money, or how can I find the resources? What do I need to do to see if I can make this an investment?" You just kept saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna," or "I can't do it," or "My income is limited." But then she was like, "But you'll see me next year." And the host was just like, "Okay," kind of thing, not doubting her. But when you are in this space, you can start hearing, the words behind the words. Someone else came in the chat and said, see, I'm nosy. I be all up in the chat, right? And somebody's comment was deleted. So then somebody said, well, why was my comment deleted? So I went scrolling, looking like, well, what comment was deleted? And I was like, I couldn't find it. So the person whose comment was deleted, she was in the queue to ask a question. So she came on and said, well, why did you delete my comment? And the host was saying, well, one, because you can't give advice on what people are need to do or not to do with their money, and I'm responsible for that. So the lady C now was essentially saying that, there, you can't use this type of fund to make an investment because then you'll lose your benefits, this, that, and the other. So they deleted that because they're like, well, stop giving people like financial advice. Like, y'all are not going to come on my live stream and then somebody take a clip or a screenshot and say I'm the one who said it. So that's why she deleted. So the host was saying that I didn't tell the lady to use her money in any type of way. I'm not telling you to, go for broke or do whatever. I'm just telling you, if you're willing, if you want to do something, you will be willing to find the investment instead of saying, oh, I can't afford it, but I want to do it. Small things. So then the lady was going back and forth. It's like, well, you could lose this and that. And the host was like, okay, I'm going to end this part with you because I don't want this to turn into anything that's a legal matter. And then she said, I would have done the same thing if there was an attorney on here giving legal advice. But because I can't vet that attorney, then I'm going to remove all of their advice because it's going to fall back on me. So I said all that to say is, as you prepare yourself for any type of support, and you're probably going to, a lot of trainings, webinars, and things like that, be careful about what you are putting in the chat and stop putting your limiting or your lack of belief in yourself, especially when it comes to financial investments, on anyone else. All right. So that was number one and two. The third part is you have to trust your star player. And I talk about this in my book. I talk about this in several of my trainings. It is not so much the coach or the consultant or the book or the course or whatever you are investing in. Now, sometimes they are garbage. I'll just put it out there. Like, so many people are saying that, everyone should be like telling everybody to go monetize their expertise in coaching or, go do that. And that's not always true, but that's another topic for another day. Some of y'all don't need to do that, right? But you're what I found is, and this is from my personal experience and from the research I've been doing over the last few weeks, people are looking at the individual person saying, well, that's the person that's going to get me the results that I've been waiting for. And that's not true. And you want to know how I know that's true? Here's another example that I saw on that same training just yesterday. There was a lady, she was like, I like this program. I think I want to be in it, but I'm in another program. The host said, okay, what type of program are you in? And she was like, it's the same type of program. So let's say that it was like arts and crafts. It wasn't, but let's just say that I'm in this type of arts and crafts, but then I like your approach to arts and crafts. I don't know which one to do. Now, if she was, you know, if you've been around like Myron Golden, I call him Uncle G. He's not my Uncle MG. He's not my uncle. I just like that. But he gives me like cool uncle vibes. He's like, if anyone ever comes to me and say, I'm deciding between your program and somebody else, he's like, go to somebody else. Don't come to me. Because if that is already in your mind, then you're already telling me that I'm going to have to do too much work to work with you because I'm going to have to convince you and I'm not in the convincing space. So that would be my approach. The host, well, she was gracious. She said, well, what are you okay, she was like, are you getting value from that other program? And the lady said, yes. She said, okay, great. So she asked her, well, what is it that you think you are missing as to why you need to feel like you need both? And the lady sat there and she really couldn't give her an answer. And I forgot what she said because I had to go do something else. But this just led me to really understanding why people jump from coach to coach, program to program. I did that. So I'm speaking from experience as well. It's because you're looking at the actual person. Now, does the actual person, do they have certain insights and skill sets that they can give you from their success and experience? Yes. But for the most part, things are the same, just like there are thousands of universities in the world. And while you may get different nuances from different, programs and professors, the curriculum is the same. I taught mathematics. Math has not changed. Mathematics doesn't change. You get different, courses and subjects, but actual math does not change from institution to institution, right? But if you keep jumping around and you're like, well, I don't like this math program, I'm going to go to this math program over there, the core of it is the same. And if you keep wondering like why I keep switching up and not getting the results, it's because it's you. You haven't fully invested in yourself to do the work or to get the outcome that you desire. And you're putting everything on the person that you want to invest with or work with. And that is going to fail you every time. There are times when, just like in university, if you went, you may have to take a class, and that professor is the only one who offers that class. So you need to suck it up, buttercup, and do what you need to do to get the information, or in the advice industry, get the transformation you are seeking, and then keep it moving, right? And so sometimes that may be the case, but with everything happening, and people are talking about sales, people are talking about speaking, people are talking about writing a book, you get a variety just like university. So you get to go like, well, I like this person who teach about sales, I vibe with them, let me go with them. If they pass the vibe check, great. But you also need to say, well, am I willing to put in the work, regardless, if I like them or not? Am I still willing to put in the work? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I like that person, and they think that you think by osmosis you're going to get the results without putting in the work. So you have to bet on you. You are technically investing in yourself, even though like you may pay me or you may pay someone else. You're paying for the vehicle and the support, but you're the one that's going to have to do the work. I don't remember, and I've been in the education space for a few decades. I look good. I'm still young. I started early. Literally, I started early. And I don't remember, especially when I got to the college level, that people were like, you know what? I don't know if I want to pay this tuition because I don't know if I'm going to pass that class. Guess what? A lot of us never heard of the professors before. We didn't know, we didn't have a lot to look them up on at the time. We were just in the class. They said this. Now we had a few options, but it was like two or three. But if you were in a niche program like I was, it was like one and you had to go. But you didn't, before you applied, you didn't say, well, let me look at all the professors, let me look at everything that they've done before I apply to the university and hand over my tuition check. The advice industry, you get to look at people and see what they're offering before you invest with them. But guess what? You still have to do the work. So that was a long way of saying that you still have to do the work. And a lot of people have been on these trainings. They've been like, well, I don't know if it's going to work for me. I'm going to say this, and I've been saying it before. Just about everything works. Anything technically works if you work it with fidelity. When I was consulting for school districts, and every year, first of all, I used to write curriculum, and then I was on a team to evaluate, different curriculum programs to come in. And we would get across certain schools, and they're like, man, they buy something every single year. Why do they do that? Because they were hopping on, well, this is the latest new thing. This is the latest thing right here. And guess what? I realized that I'm dating myself, when Common Core came out, all the textbooks were the same, but if they wanted their order to get bumped up, they slapped Common Core on the label, and it was literally the same book with a different label, right? But people were investing in it because they're like, oh, that's what's going to get me the results. Oh, that's what's going to get me results. No, you working the program or the product is what's going to get you the results. So you have to bet on yourself. So that was part, or tip number 3 on uh, how to prepare yourself for support, whether it's going into a new year or going into a new season. Something else that was also mentioned, the lady who I talked about, saying that she couldn't afford it. She was like, I'm just going to wait till January for new me, new year. And the host was like, no, stop saying that. It is going to be new year, same you. And the lady was shocked again. I was like, this host is savage, but I love it. And you have to be honest with yourself. Are you bringing that same energy into a new month? Technically, every day is a fresh day. I can't remember who said it, but I got it from someone. Like, every day is a January 1st for you. Like, you can literally make every day January 1 in that mindset, like starting over, pressing reset. So if you're not going to start over and press reset for a new day, why do you think you're going to be able to do this for a new month, which is just another day on the calendar? So you need to be honest with yourself. Number 4 is it goes in tapping into your star player, but a little deeper. You need to work on your identity. Now, I know that there are people out there, and I've said this in one of my trainings, especially when I talked about my Amplify Your Authority assessment. That information is down below as well. People say sell people what they want and you give them what they need once they're inside the program. I am going to help you. You need to work on your identity first before you get in there. Stop running to people who are going to tell you that you can make six figures in 6 days. Is it possible? Absolutely. But if you're not in aligned to be the person who's going to generate that, it is not going to work for you. So they can give you all the strategies, right? But if you don't have the mindset and the identity set to put forth that skill set and use those tools, that tool set, it is not going to work for you. If you want to be the person that's speaking on all of these stages and you want to be the best-selling author, you want to do all of that, but you won't even show up on camera, then it's not going to work for you. So you need to work on who you are becoming and who you are at your core. And that is going to require you to do some personal leadership work. When I first started off in personal development work, I was like, okay, this is great. I'm tapping into who I am and all of those things right there. But there was still a gap. I was like, I did this over here, but why am I not achieving the result? I'm gonna go ahead and save you a couple $1,000s. It's not working because you have to align that work to where you want to go. You can't just take personal development for the sake of personal development, which I now call personal leadership because I learned that from another mentor. You can't just take those courses and do those things and think magically now that your business is going to be top tier or you're going to get that, next career or I mean next position or you're going to get that next contract, whatever the case may be. You have to fuse the two together. You have to say, you know what? I'm giving you the example. I want to be like a New York Times best-selling author. What is it going to take to become that person? Now, all of that professional development work that you do is geared towards that particular goal. You have to, in my opinion and experience, you have to take the work of personal development and put it in the vehicle of your vision. On my YouTube channel, I did a full, I think, 13 part series on that. I think is September something, September 2024. Go look up that playlist and I literally walk you through the shell of a program that I have and you can just do it. And I give you the steps on how to make this work for any goal or vision that you have because it is identity work. It doesn't matter what you sign up for. It doesn't matter if you go to 10 speaker trainings, 10 write your books, 10, become a coach, 10 business trainings. It doesn't matter what it is until you identify those qualities and traits and you start becoming that person. You have to start becoming that person before the skill sets will work. Now, some people may get lucky and they may say, "Whoo, I made my first 100K." I've literally seen that. And I've been like, "Well, goodness gracious, how what?" But then if you as time go on, they are struggling. Why? Because they didn't fully become that person. And I'm gonna say this, you probably been following people who that's what they're operating on and they haven't been able to do it again. But people out here in the coaching industry will tell you, well, if you did something one time, then you can teach somebody else. Lies, because you don't have the data or they may not have the data to back up how did I actually do it? Because it could have been a fluke and you're out here teaching people on flukes and it's not working. And then people are wondering like, why am I not getting the same results? Because they don't know how they got the results. So be careful on that. So that was number 4. You have to work on your identity towards whatever goal that you are wanting to accomplish. You have to have a bigger vision, whether that's weight release, whether that's getting into a relationship, getting out of a relationship, starting a business, advancing in your career is all about identity and becoming. And you want to know why I'm saying this? And I'm like, I started off saying this and I shifted like way back when I started doing videos, but I'm coming back to it. I'm on a lot of people's email lists because I'm nosy like that. but it's also for research purposes. And you want to know what some of these big name people are saying? They're all coming back to working on yourself and your identity, becoming that person. And then we can move forward on how you can put the tactics and strategies together. When I was teaching mathematics, there was a time when I was at university that I had to put down the actual mathematics curriculum and work on the identity of these young people becoming professionals, because you're taking 17, 18, 19-year olds, some 20-year-olds, and saying, all right, you're about to be in charge of, people, and you're about to be like an actual adult responsible for things at 20, 21, 22. And a lot of people didn't realize like what mind shift needed to occur. And I did a lot of well, I called it personal development back then, but I did a lot of personal leadership work with them. Then I was able to put the math curriculum back into place, and I saw drastic results. So I'm telling you that as you prepare for getting support for either the new year or new season, you need to understand that there needs to be an identity piece in there. There needs to be, you need to be willing to do some transformational work, some shifting, some deep work. If you're in a program and they're not offering that, or they don't talk about that, then be prepared to do it on your own and just realize that it's going to be tactics based. Now, sometimes that's all you need. Like get in, give me the spreadsheet, or give me the tactics and get out, because everyone is not going to do that deep dive work. So that's the difference. So I like to say this. So like people say, well, what's the difference between like mathematics and mathematics education? I have credentials in both. Mathematics education is like, well, let me teach you the arts and science behind why people learn math the way they do, don't learn it, or how are they successful, what are the missing pieces. Let's get all into the nitty gritty about understanding, the mathematics. In pure mathematics, it's like, this is the formula, this is what I need you to do. We're not here to get to the deep, deep feelings of why you're not successful. This is what it is, and keep it moving. Both are needed, because there are times when just give me the formula, let me go do the calculations and be out. And there are times where I need to really understand why this formula is here and where did it come from. And you'll realize that, oh, I didn't understand something in algebra. This is why I can't get trigonometry. Whoop, there it is, right? So sometimes, so I'm not saying that every person or every culture or consultant or business or training and development needs that mindset or transformational work, but just know that if you're not going to get it with this company, then you may need to subsidize, right? So that was, I forgot, number 5. If you're with me, let me know where I am. All right. So finally, as you prepare, you need to be honest about what you really want. And I had a call with someone yesterday, and I was like, I shifted into this like just coaching space when me just wanting to be a coach was never the vibe. It was kind of like, well, this is kind of where I fell into. And then I had to be honest with myself. What do I really want my actual company to look like? What do I want this entrepreneurial journey to look like? And so when I answered that, coaching was just a really, really small piece, but that's like the big piece I led with. Some of you are out here saying, well, let me monetize my expertise. I was a trainer for this corporation, so maybe I need to go coach people on how to do X, Y, and Z. And that is not true. I talk about monetization and I shift it up. It's not really monetizing your actual thing. It's really working on your mindset and your relationship with generating income and money and things like that. But you also, let me go. This is a better example. I did a training on this. It's on my YouTube channel. I want to just talk to you about yeah, let me go through this list. When I talk about monetizing and what does that actually mean about turning your expertise into income, it doesn't always mean taking your former uh, employment and dropping that into entrepreneurship. It's really about the skill sets that you've obtained or the experiences that you obtained over the years, and how can you use that skill set into a different vehicle. You could have been the company's best corporate trainer, right? On, I don't know, systems and software, let's say that. And then because you hearing this message, well, let's monetize your expertise, you're thinking like, okay, I want to, I don't want to stay in my 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever it is, my corporate environment. So let me take that and now let me start coaching people. Like let me start my own, corporate training. And that may not be the vibe for you. Maybe you're supposed to take that skill set and open a series of car washes. I mean, seriously, right? And people are not telling you that. It's like there are ways to just transfer your skill set, but that doesn't mean you take your current job and turn that into what you're supposed to be doing in the entrepreneur or business space, right? Now, can you do like consulting and make side money from that? Absolutely. I think everyone should, well, not everyone. I think a lot of you should be doing that. But for that to be your main thing, that may not be the case, or that may be something you do as you transition so that you can get that income coming in and then transition to something else. All right. So a few examples that I have, and I said this in my training, but I'll say it here. I said diversify your authority without becoming a culture consultant only. And a few ways to do that is to, I wrote here, explore pathways such as industry thought leadership, corporate training, community engagement, become an authority on something else. And it could just be like a video authority where you start a YouTube channel, or to where you become the authority, when people are at, you see on the news and things like that, they have experts come in. Maybe that's where you do it. Another one, like I said, for content creation, maybe there are people who are still making a lot of money on YouTube based on what they're, and that's what I'm transitioning to too. Making money just by creating their content, not like content creators like you may think, but I'm on here, I'm giving you my expert advice, and everything is geared towards this YouTube channel. And I'm putting everything I can into building up this kind of educational platform and generating income from there. Another one is industry leadership and advocacy, right? Where it says using your voice for policies or causes related to your expertise. That may be a way to monetize your expertise outside of just coaching and consulting. Another one, my favorite, which I talk about and help people with, is building your own digital ecosystem with your education experiences and your expertise. And that goes into the range of like speaking, writing your books, being on video, all these other things, like a hub of knowledge. And of course, corporate partnerships and trainings, product development and innovation. Some of you have where you may never have to show up on camera because your skill set is literally in building systems for other people, or building products or tech products or apps for other people. And maybe that's what you do. It's a lot of money in that, and assessments and things like that. And that's another way to monetize your expertise without just becoming a coach or consultant. So those are some of the things that I wanted to share with you as you prepare for support in the next season. Be careful of just going to people who are telling you to get your coaching certification, or just go be this consultant, or only be a corporate trainer, or only being a speaker. All of those things would be beneficial for you if you're that person, to have, understand how to navigate in those areas, because that's one way to recession proof yourself. But be honest with yourself and take a deeper dive into saying what you really want. Maybe you need to walk away from all of it and open up your own dog training school. I don't know. But it's time for everyone, all of us, to start dreaming bigger and thinking deeper about what's coming up for us, or who we are becoming. You can see that my tagline on LinkedIn, my mission is to bankrupt 1 billion burial plots. And what that means is helping a billion people live a life poured out above ground before they go underground. And if you only stop at, I'm going to just teach people what I know, or I'm only going to coach, or I'm only going to consult, then you're leaving a lot of your tags on the table: talents, gifts, and abilities. And I got that from another mentor as well. So it's time for you to really broaden your perspective on why you're here on this planet. Stop having these small goals and small visions, right? Really sit down for these next couple of days to think about, really, why am I here and what do I really want to do? If you keep having that nagging vision, or nagging, I don't even want to say nagging, but that recurring idea that keeps popping up in your head or flashing by, or every time you click a video or hear something, it brings you back to this thing. That's the thing you need to work on, and that's the thing you need to do. And it could be opening a chain of uh well, I want to say like homeless shelters, right? And things like that, or a place for women who've been abused, or something for children, youth centers, or things like that. So as you prepare for support, you want to be aligned with someone who's going to challenge you to go to think bigger, think deeper, and put things in place for you to accomplish those types of goals, not just these immediate small goals that, that's only benefiting you. All right. So that's all I have for you. If you are interested, moving forward, I do have additional programs, but the one that I'm focusing on now and that I want to offer you is from our holiday advisory and mentorship. And it's really about the Get It Done Incubator. That's the first one. If you go to the link below, you'll see a series of tiers that you can join in. But the main one is the Get It Done Incubator. And what I realize is that so many of you are going to all of these different places. You get the freebies, you got the webinars, you got the challenges, you got the courses, and you haven't really implemented those things with fidelity. And what I wanted to put together was, let's take all of that shelf help and really use it. And let's see, like, why didn't you accomplish this? Why weren't you able to get through this curriculum or things like that? And it's not to bash anybody else, anybody's program, because I'm just going to come in with the assumption that they were all fabulous. But there was something that you were missing as to why you didn't get the results that you were looking for. So in that, the Get It Done Incubator, we go through that. First, we just start fresh over with a vision mapping and some goal setting, but it's a little deeper than that. We're not just doing vision boards and things like that. We're going to go through a process and really get down to the nitty gritty, and then we're going to realign and restructure with all those things that you've gathered so that you can start seeing a return on that investment. And when I say that, I'm not really, hopefully it is monetarily, but really so you can understand what was the missing piece so that you can build up that confidence back in yourself, so that you can put that trust back in yourself. So when you get results here, when it's time for you to invest in support, whether it to a higher level with myself or someone else, see, I don't care. I just want you to win. So whether that's with me or someone else, then going in, you're going to be tuned into your star player, and you can go for the highest level of support because you're betting on yourself and not that person. And then so think of it as like elevated study halls where, you come in from all your classes from university, you get with the group and you're saying, okay, all these professors said this. Now I'm here with my study group. Now I can tune out the noise and really focus on something that I may have missed, because someone in your study group could say, and I'm the lead, hey, this is what you missed, or this is what you didn't see at the time, and then move forward from there. All right. So that information will be down below. There are different tiers of support if you are interested in holiday advisory and mentorship. But my purpose of this, and I'll be back on more, is making sure that you don't do the same things that you did going into this new year or this new season. You can't go in with the same goal setting strategies. You can't go in with just the same vision boards. You can't go in with the same mentality or approach. You can't keep betting on the same people, right? You can't keep chasing after program, right? So I look, this is it. It's time for you to get into realignment, because guess what? It's going to be December 2025, and you're probably going to be watching this replay or something similar to this, and you're going to be like, man, here I am again. And so let's stop that. Stop the madness, get support. Or if you don't want to join the Get It Done Incubator with me or anything like that, just go back and take a fresh look at some of the things that you've already invested in, and get the action plan together and take those daily steps and say, is this what I really want? Or am I willing to become the person who has already obtained those results? And only you know the answer. Only you can say, no, I'm just kidding. Only you know the answer. All right, so thank you so much for listening and learning with me. I will see you all soon so I can wrap up that other training. And whether you're beginning your day or ending your day, remember to be well, to be empowered, to be bold, and to be brilliant. Until next time, bye.